You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and one consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete Signal Transmission Trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Really?
Hi, this is Jim from Safety Works. Before we start the program, I want to make sure everyone understands that we all depend upon that OSHA and EPA citations, along with some other regulatory actions from other agencies, legal cases, and criminal activity. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Proposed fines are exactly that, and they are often litigated, reduced, or vacated. We use available public records, news accounts, and press releases. We cannot warranty or guarantee the details of any of the stories we share, since we are not directly involved with these stories, at least not most of the time. Enjoy the show.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
And from the border of liberty and prosperity and the highway to the north, this is Safety Wars.
This is the final episode of Season 4. Oh, I was going to get you going there. Yes, we are starting Season 5 this weekend. Possibly, we'll see how it works out. We got a lot going on here. Let me get the video up and running here. Enjoy some intro music, I guess. And me babbling on and on and on. A lot today, if you're a political dude or dudette, this was like Christmas, New Year's, Super Bowl, all wrapped up into one. It's either you're very happy today or you're very angry today. There's no in between here. I'm going to say this much. You need to have, let's look at this. I got a little bit late today. Where have I been? Well, first of all, let's talk about where I've been. Here. And go live. Proceed. Alright. Go live. Alright. So, where have I been? I have actually been doing, every night this week, maritime training. Specifically for marine terminals. Now, don't believe what the news tells you. There are still windmills going in offshore of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. All right, so this morning, I was listening to Jersey Joe Piscopo. I don't know, he's like entertainment polymath, right? I'm a safety polymath, I call it. He's an entertainment polymath. He does it all. He sings, he dances. He's a comedian. He's a political analyst. He does so many different things. And there was like, they had Lee Zeldin, the head of the EPA. Yeah, this, that, offshore. Well, there's still projects going on that are in process. The one that I am working on, giving the safety training for, is as soon as I get the cards, like everyone will be certified. I have to send out cards this weekend and everything. But as soon as I get the cards, temporary cards and everything, they're starting to work. But if you need, again, OSHA outreach training, you need construction, you need general industry, you need maritime, well, that's either shipyards, marine terminals, or longshoring, or if you need a disaster response. I got a question today on from one of the people out there on cyberspace on disaster response. Yeah, we do all of it. We do all of the outreach training. I don't know how else. I'm getting recertified in the next couple of weeks here. Sorry, I didn't say that. Reauthorized. OSHA doesn't certify anybody. And, it's like this. I'm authorized. I work with Rutgers. I work with Texas A&M. And I work with University of California, San Diego. Every outreach training center has a little bit of a different take on what they're doing. No one's doing anything wrong or illegal or immoral or anything like that. Just a little bit of a different take. And up until 2 years ago, I was doing everything out of Rutgers. And then once I moved over here, I said, man, they have a different way of doing things a little bit. No, they meet the requirements, but the training classes are totally different. The reauthorization classes. So if you ever have the opportunity, those are 3 great institutions. I don't know where, there are other, I think there's like 12 or 13 different ones. Those are pretty, top-notch things. You're going to get a lot of information. You're going to have a lot of interaction. But, so, for example, when you go to University of California, San Diego, I found out that there were a whole bunch of different government websites out there dedicated to maritime safety, offshore safety, and everything else from agencies I've never heard of, quite frankly. You think OSHA is like the only safety organization out there, or MSHA, or something like that? Guys, they're obscure ones out there that you can go on, and whenever there's a disaster, they end up
it can publicize and everything else. Really, really good things. And you're like, oh, shit. I had everything all organized. Now I have to incorporate all this new information. And, it's a good thing. So, no, I've been giving the classes. If you're interested in having a class at your facility, let us know. Because now, according to the new guidelines starting October 1st of last year, you're able to do that online through like an online platform like Zoom or like Teams, and you're able, which we do, and we were able to give the classes on that if we meet certain requirements. One of them is we need to give them at least 1 week's notice. So, again, give us, plan things out. We're doing it. Now, we have here a listener mail, all right? And the mail that we have tonight is from Susan from my hometown of Woodbridge, New Jersey. Complete disclosure here, I went to kindergarten with her and elementary school at school number 11 in Woodbridge. So any of the other people from Woodbridge, you know the Susan I'm talking about, but she is a regular listener to the program, and she, whenever there's a safety question she has, she's one of those listeners that always contacts me with safety questions, which I love. And if I can help you out, I'm going to do it, So her question here has to do with backup alarms. You're going to say backup alarms. Really? Backup alarms? Yes, backup alarms. And what the OSHA requirements are for backup alarms. And you're going to say, well, that's crazy. So hold on. I had this up and running. OSHA policy on backup alarms in construction. So one of the things that we have out there is this. But safety, what's safety? Safety is about controls, right? It's about putting levels of control. So if there's a failure of one, now you have a backup, then you can fail without a problem or a minor problem, if anything at all. But hopefully no problem. So you have multiple layers, right? Multiple layers of safety, right? Multiple layers of controls, multiple layers of safeguards. And it's also about your ability to adapt, right? Because we all know the workers adapt to things, right? So, and apparently, now we've had a lot of small snowstorms up here in the Northeast this year. And here. And, yeah, well, now I'm all set up. All right. So we've had a lot of stuff going on here. So what happens is you have snowplows and salters and everything else going in there. And usually, I mean, I remember way back in the day, we used to shovel snow. The great Stanley Gorecki out of Woodbridge had a company, and we used to go and, he would hire us to shovel snow. And this is like my first exposure, right? Pun not intended, into the chemical and oil industry. So I was 16, right? Just old enough to start working. And he took us to the old Exxon chemical plant in Linden, New Jersey, which I don't believe is there anymore. And we used to have to clear all of the snow around the entire plant. And it was a good gig. I got paid pretty well for a 16-year-old in 1987. I believe it was like $10 an hour for shoveling snow. And it was like you'd work Okay, he wasn't exactly following the labor regulator. We'll leave it at that. And then when I was 18, then it didn't matter anymore. And it was in there. My brother John was one of the snowplow drivers, and my father got in on the action there, directing some of the work. And then my other brother Eric would get involved, and it was good. You go there, you pick up. You pick up $200-300 because you're shoveling snow for 3 days with some of those storms, and got to learn a little bit how to use the equipment. But the best thing of all at that plant, at that facility, I have to tell you, was the cafeteria. My father didn't need to shovel snow. My father had money, he didn't need it. But he used to like to go there because he had a free lunch. And the lunch was like 5-star lunch. Sort of like at the Bayway Refinery. If you've ever seen the show Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives with Guy Fieri, the Bayway Diner used to be what was in the first episode, the Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives right there. And then with the TWIC cards coming in, being mandatory, and some of the other things going on at the plant, nobody could go to the Bayway Diner anymore because we couldn't leave for lunch. So what they did was they threw out one of the nationally known cafeteria places, and they put him in there, with the Bayway Diner in there. So we got to eat all the stuff. That was really good. That's why I found my love for chorizo, because they had homemade chorizo, and it was delicious. But anyway, I digress. So, I know what it is to be in the context. You're shoveling snow. Most of these, or clearing snow, you're alone. You're tired. You have, a thermos of coffee, because you have to have a thermos of coffee because everything's closed over here. You can't get coffee. And, it ain't fun. But what happens is you're working alone. You have to have some type of way to alert people that you're backing up. So typically a backup alarm, what does it come down to here? All right. OSHA does not have a specific regulation on backup alarms on all construction vehicles, but requirements are outlined in 29 CFR 1926.601 and 1926.602 for motor vehicles and material handling equipment used in construction. I don't believe that there is one in general industry. Let me check this out real quick here. Right. In general industry, it is on powered industrial trucks, right? With that specifically, because, right, while OSHA does not mandate backup alarms, many workplaces require them as part of internal safety policies or risk assessments to reduce struck-by hazards. So let's remember, these regulations were written in 1973, right? That's what they reference here. And it's more or less a best practice. So not only are you supposed to have people spotting you, but you have a backup alarm. And if you're on snow removal, it's you're not going to have someone directing you back all the time. You're not going to have a rider with you in the truck. That normally doesn't happen. So you're alone. What do? You have backup cameras, but you also have backup alarms. It's sort of like when you're starting a manufacturing process. What do they have? They have the little amber lights, maybe. They have an alarm, right? And everything else that you're out there with. I like the sound effects there. I should have had a siren on here. So do we have a siren? Yeah. Hold on. Not like that. But you have something like that on there. So you're back up. And it's got to be 90 decibels there. Now, what happens is some people are very savvy. And they're like, well, there's no requirement to have it, so don't have it. I'm going to tell you this. If you hit someone with a vehicle, I am almost sure that the first question is going to be, do you have a backup alarm? Right? I can almost guarantee it. And if the answer is no, or it's not working, then it's going to go downhill. And being that it's not every day, I mean, you have to be reasonable with the way things are with safety, with things. Hey, it's only going to be temporary. It's only going to be there. It's only going to be at night. I understand it might keep the neighbors up, but it is what it is. I mean, if I would hate to have, because this is me, I make a noise complaint over something like that, and then someone ends up getting killed or hurt. Just my own thing. Oh, I needed my beauty sleep, but, so a guy died, but at least I got my beauty sleep. Really? With that. So the bottom line is that there are no requirements for backup alarms in OSHA. Is it recommended? Is it a best practice? The answer is yes. And I tell you what, if you don't have one, you're going to have a problem. Another thing is hearing protection. That was that was general site work that somebody asked me about hearing protection. So hearing protection and there's a big difference between the requirements for general industry, which is 29 CFR 1910.95, and the other one is 29 CFR 1926.52, and the other one was 1926.101. Those, right? With that. Now, one's the PPE, one is hearing conservation thing. So 1910 is general industry. And we know what the key hazards of noise exposure are. There are many. One of them is hearing loss. One of them is tinnitus, which is constant ringing in the ears, a common symptom of hearing damage. But basically, tinnitus is a neurological situation, as I understand it. By the way, I have tinnitus. Basically, if I'm on the air and I have headphones on and I have them turned all the way down, so sometimes I have them turned down so low that I don't realize I don't have my microphone on. And that's when you hear me, it's like a Japanese movie here, right? My lips are moving, there's no sound coming out, then I got to redo it. But that's, again, it's a common symptom of hearing damage. You're at higher risk for tinnitus, ringing of the ears. With that, I don't know. I never got a good explanation why. But I tell you what, it's a hellish thing to deal with. My father, he worked at Western Electric in Kearney. They refused, even after OSHA, they refused to give anybody hearing protection. And I said, Dad, did they go out there with like a noise monitor and everything? He said, no, what they had was like guides that you would have. And his supervisor BS'd them and said he didn't need hearing protection. And he had a real bad tinnitus. So in general industry, they require audiograms and everything else that are in there. Right, so you have communication issues, also increased stress and fatigue, and everything else that goes along with deafness. Now, we have exposure limits, and they're the same for general industry, and they are the same for construction. All right. So in general industry, at 85 decibels for an 8-hour shift, you're required to have a hearing conservation program. And at 90 decibels for an 8-hour shift, again, as a time-weighted average measured with a dosimeter, you have a permissible exposure limit of 90. At each 5 dBA increase, cuts the safe exposure time in half. So at 8 hours is 90 decibels. At 6 hours, 92. 4 hours, 95 decibels. 2 hours for 100 decibels. 1 hour for 105. 30 minutes for 110. 15 minutes or less. And I've become, I got incorporated into the training a little bit better. But I used to, when they came out with the apps on the smartphone here, they used to go out. And I used to sample things. So, for example, the bell ringers around the holiday times, they have, it used to be they would have the bells up here. I was taking measurements. I said, dude, you can need hearing plugs. Or you got to figure it out. So they don't have the big bells up over here ringing. They got to ring them down here. And that is all part of their hearing conservation program for that main charity that does that. They just say, Jimmy, how do you know that? Well, one of my neighbors here, she is, I joke around with her. I say, she's from the militant wing of the Salvation Army, right? But she is works for the Salvation Army, which is one of their main offices in the Northeast, if not the country, is right here in town. And, huge complex here. And she said, no, they have a hearing conservation program. They're not allowed to do the bells here. They got to do them down here now. They have a certain size and everything, all part of that because of the noise thing. I said, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. So in case, militant wing of Salvation Army, that's from Austin Powers, right? Then they have methods of hearing protection that they outline, and earplugs and earmuffs. And this is a rather lengthy discussion. I don't want to bore the hell out of anybody here with this. But they require under general industry to be in a conservation program with employment testing, audiometric testing, and everything else. Now, in the construction industry, right, they have a different situation. So there's it's recommended that you have a hearing conservation program. And I'm going to tell you, if you are in a third-party monitoring service, and there are 3 of them, I'm not going to mention them here, out there, that evaluate where you have to sign up for it if you're working on a certain contract. And they tell you what you need in your safety plans and what safety training you need, number 1. And number 2 is that they track like OSHA recordables and things of that nature. It all goes into a database and you get a grade, and that you get compared with everybody else. If you're involved in that sort of program, normally they're going to require a hearing conservation program, even in construction with that. But you have to check because the requirements are significantly different sometimes. Now, with that, and where they sit you down in a nice quiet room and they give you a hearing test. Now, with me, since I have tinnitus and it's congenital, not from anything, not from any, it's just the way my body is, my regular insurance policy pays for an audiometric testing for me with that, and I just keep, there's nothing that much they could do, and and everything else with that. So there's certain strategies. One of them is not to be in headphones all day. That's number 1. Sometimes I have to be with that. And the other one is like I have to sleep on the couch. And my mother-in-law, when we were first married, my wife would say, yeah, Jimmy's sleeping on the couch. And my mother-in-law was like, are you having marital issues? No, he has tinnitus and he has to sleep on the couch. Right? Because, what am I going to do? Put in headphones and make it worse? Sort of thing. That's why I'm never wearing, except for here, I don't wear them. With my wife, she, the closed captioning wakes her up. It's too loud, the closed captioning on the TV. So, right? That's how light she sleeps. And I'm not joking on that one. So construction, no hearing conservation cam, no audiometric testing. Other one is that. Now, the best practices are to conduct noise assessments by qualified industrial hygienists, provide hearing protection, and train workers. Go through the hierarchy of controls, and go on your smartphone. And there are a couple of different apps, and get a decibel reader on there. It's not NIST compliant. However, it gives you a good idea, a screening idea. The screen things, and it averts a lot of arguments, believe it or not. What do you mean, Jim? Arguments? Oh, it averts a lot of arguments to have that. Thing. Now, one more thing. New Jersey state troopers often carry those. I don't know about the local police, but New Jersey state troopers do. We had a neighbor one time at my father's house, the log cabin, and he was a state trooper, but and he eventually retired. But his wife used to scream and yell at everybody for noise complaints. That was one of her things. The kids next door, noise, I can't handle it. So what ended up happening was she kept on calling the police. And in that area of New Jersey, there is no local police force in them days. So the state police would come and act as the local police, which means you didn't get a break on anything. Zero. Right? The New Jersey state troopers. The ones that don't give you no break are the fire marshals, right? They've been going around town writing tickets out for people in fire lanes. You're not getting out of that ticket. Second one are the sheriffs. Up here in New York, the sheriffs. The third thing is the sheriffs, you're not getting out of it. You have a problem. In New Jersey, the sheriffs normally don't do traffic stops, even though they can. But the state trooper comes, and they kept on coming again and again and again and again and again. What do you think? What do you think happened? One day they show up with a sound level meter. And the law was you have to have a certain number of decibels inside your house for it to be a legitimate noise complaint, right, at a certain time. So, obviously after, sundown, then the things change a little bit. So he said, you know what we're going to do? And this went on scores of times, and they got tired of coming out there. So they went to the family next door that had the kids. They said, well, why is she complaining about noise? He said, well, we got a little, my son's a percussionist. Not, a legitimate percussionist. He studies it at school. We pay for lessons for him, and that's what he does. That's his thing. He's in the high school marching band. He has his own little rock group set up. The kids around the town come over, and they jam in our house or in our garage or sometimes outside, and they have a grand old time and everything else. And the mother's like, look, I'd rather have them do this than do drugs and drink. Police officers, the state trooper says, ma'am, I get it, 100%. So I talked to your son and his friends. They come over and they're shaking likely. So look, guys, you're not in trouble. This is what I want you to do. I want you to hook up all your stuff. And I want you to put it up to the highest level that you would normally play it. He's like, you don't turn it all the way up, do you? He said, no, we don't. We get noise complaint. No, blah, blah. We want to play the instruments. We don't want to, Says, okay, well, turn it up to more than what you normally do. And I'm going to go next door with this sound level meter right here. And we're going to go and figure out what the levels are. And then we're going to come to an agreement here. What you're going to do, blah, blah, blah. And we want your windows open and everything else. So he goes next door and he says to the lady, open up the windows and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, we're going to get those kids. We're going to get those kids. Yes, we're going to get those kids. Right? And they jack that thing all the way up. And he said they're playing and they got the drums going. They got the bass guitar and they got the speakers going over there. And these are huge lots. Right? And he's there. He goes in the house all around. Oh, isn't that it? Goes outside, goes on the far line, and he says, okay, fellas, great. No problem. We want to keep playing, but I'm done with you. Goes over to her and says, I tell you what, next time we get a noise complaint from you with this, you're under arrest. Have a nice day. And he walked out, got in his car, drove away. So, that woman was also kept on calling up CPS on the neighbors, also on her other neighbors on the other side. It was just a complete nightmare. The woman had apparently some deep-seated psychological issues that, I hope she resolved here, because she had like all different delusions and stuff. You don't know what people are struggling with, so I don't like to pick on them. But it's wrong to pick on them. But anyway, that was my story with that. Now, let's go to commercial break. Yes, thank you. And we'll pick it up in a minute here, all right?
In an unpredictable world, one voice rises above the chaos. Meet Jim Polzo, a seasoned safety expert who's navigated through some of the most dangerous scenarios, from anthrax, explosive cleanups, disasters, and numerous environmental cleanups, and lived to tell the tale. Now he's bringing his wealth of knowledge, insights, and experiences to you through Safety Wars. From workplace hazards to the hidden dangers in your own home, Jim covers it all with his engaging storytelling. Safety Wars isn't just a podcast. It's your guide to a safer world. Join Jim Polzo and become part of the Safety Wars revolution. Available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts and videos. Safety Wars. Your safety is our mission.
Have you listened or watched the Safety War show? It does stream live on the radio and on the streamer-emers that we have. So if you have not taken a listen to Jim Polzo and what the hell he's doing every evening with Safety Wars, I would strongly encourage you to take a view or take a listen, whichever option is available for you, and take a listen to what the hell he has going on. It will take some deep dives and some information that you might be interested in.
All right, we're going to dedicate this next song to Vladimir Zelensky. So hopefully it comes across here. I just had AI generated. So hopefully it comes across. Hold on.
When you ride the wild wind with...
Oh. Darn it. Hold on. I hate it when it does stuff like this.
When you ride the wild wind with no map in your hand, you better be ready to crash land. There's no mercy for the foolish hearts, but we don't break, we tear apart. Stumbling through life like a blindfolded clown. If you trip, you better not stay down. Laugh at the scars you carve so deep. To be tough, you gotta lose some sleep. If you're gonna be stupid, you better be strong. Learn to dance when things go wrong. Every wrong step is a left hook deal. If you're gonna be stupid, you better be made of steel. Bruises and bad calls make you wise. Struggle emboldens those heavy sighs. Jump off the cliffs, embrace the fall. Only the bold survive it all. Grin through the pain and wear it proud. Sing your regrets clear and loud. Mistakes teach more than safety nets. It's the heat that forges the best. If you're gonna be stupid, you better be strong. Learn wrong. Every wrong step is a left hook deal. If you're gonna be stupid, you better be made of steel.
And that is Safety Warrior with If You're Gonna Be Stupid, You Better Be Made of Steel. Now, Jim, this is politics. Okay, so back in the day when this first started, the whole war, we had a warning that we used to put out. So let's see if I can fire it up here. Is it still here? Yes. Oh. Yes, it's the Ukrainian war update today. I'm driving home from a safety audit, and I tell you what, I'm listening to this. I hear something about it on satellite radio, and this is what it is. The Fight House that comes over Drudge. Trump blasts disrespectful Zelensky. You're gambling with World War III. Kremlin celebrates. Pardon me, and the video of the meltdown. See if we can get it play over here now. I mean, it's 50 minutes, but I tell you what, it's...
We've had a great 35 days or whatever it might be, a month, a little more than a month. We've accomplished tremendous amounts. Not only this would be a very great achievement if we could get the war stopped.
So...
And think you're going to have to make. That's all we can do to get it done. Getting it done.
I mean, you get the right spot here.
Answer on side question. Sure, I will answer on more serious question if I can. Yeah, so please. About 5 times. That's why we will never want to divide.
Okay, let's get to the good part here. Hang on. Sorry, people.
We have.
What about Baltics? Poland's in a tough neighborhood, you know. So I'm a business person.
To tell you, and I think that everybody. Them because they've been.
Hold on. I didn't have time to edit this.
People for memes and thought crimes, and even I know that Secretary of Commerce Lutnick followed up in private meetings last night.
This is J.D. Vance.
It's really important. We believe Americans have the right to speak their mind, even if we in this room disagree with them. They have the right to speak their mind in the public square, which is often online these days. And we're going to defend that right as it pertains to American companies and American citizens vigorously if we have to. I do think that under the president's leadership, we're going to find common ground with our friends in the UK on this question, but it remains to be seen. The principle that will guide us is we believe in free speech in this country and we'll fight for it for American citizens.
Mr. President, on the deal, is there any other oil and gas component for the
I'll study that and I'll see.
The country that has
me there.
We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending
this is
that the
J.D.
President
Vance.
of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
So that was President Trump, Zelensky, and J.D. Vance.
During 2014.
And I have commentary on this.
Yeah, the situation the same. The people are been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing
This is where it gets good.
because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people.
It gets better.
World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
My children would disagree, but I agree with the president.
Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You haven't been alone.
In this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion. We gave you military equipment, and you men are brave, but they had to use our military. If you didn't have our military equipment,
you invited me.
If you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days. I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something.
And he makes a gesture, hands, 3 days. I heard it already.
Again, just say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why
I think that was the whole point to this.
you have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look. If you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war, but
I want a ceasefire.
I said to you,
I want a ceasefire
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me. That wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful. Because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make. Because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks this fire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. Hear that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right. We'll see what we can do about putting it together. Thanks.
So this afternoon, they, what's the word I'm looking for? They released this 11 minutes, right, of the press conference. And apparently the press conference goes on and on and on after this. And what they ended up doing was, here, I'm getting the stream straightened out. What they ended up doing was, they released that, and then they released the whole thing. Let me just give some sausage making information here, as I say, the back office. So when you're videotaping this stuff, or video recording it, you have to render the video a little bit, where you have to process it. You got to do editing. You got to do this and that. Even to do a little edit like this, approximately 11, 13 minutes, somewhere in that range, that takes time. You got to download it to your device, right? And those kinds of cameras, they usually have an SD card with that goes into the computer, right? Or it's connected to something. And then you have to go there. You have to download it into whatever program you have. And then you got to take that out at 11 minutes, 13 minutes. Then you have to render it. 11-minute high-quality video, you're looking at somewhere around 600 megabytes. Then you got to post it and do everything else. This takes time. That's why they did the first 11 minutes, I suspect. So, people say, well, no, this was edited. That's what I heard. This was edited. This is blah. Well, guess what? This is what goes into it. And then later on, about 45 minutes later, they released the whole video, which was, time-wise is pretty good. Now, this is what's going on. Regardless of what your opinion is, the President Trump or Biden or Obama they mentioned, and everything else, a lot of this stuff, right, we were giving aid to the Ukrainians for a long time. Some of this U.S. aid money went to Ukraine, from my understanding. Haven't been able to really verify that in writing, but this is what I have heard. This is what I have read and everything that it's gone. So we were involved a long time in Ukrainian politics. One of their presidents, his name escapes me, was one of the few cases of chloracne out there where the KGB, he was very photogenic, and the KGB poisoned him with some type of chlorine compound, and he got chloracne and was not photogenic anymore. And they're involved, this and that, Orange Revolution, the whole 9 yards here is a complete and total mess. A friend of the program also got involved in this local guy, where he's a international arms dealer, and he got thrown off YouTube because he said, "Look, Biden, the Obama-Biden administration screwed up one of my deals," and they said, "No, that never happened. Throw him off of YouTube. Throw him off of Facebook. Throw him here," and then he produced the video. They said, "You're not an international arms," and then he showed them the video of him. Because everything over there on that side of the world, a lot of stuff is video recorded. A video of him with like a top-end general of Ukraine selling small arms. So the guy wasn't lying. He's not a liar, believe me. So all of this goes in there, the contest, and with the war starts. And then they had Russia's amassing troops on the border. And rather than going in there and trying to make a deal, they start the war, and then all of a sudden money starts to flowing, and Ukraine is like one of the money laundering capitals of the world at the time, and all different types of shameful activities going on with kids over there, a la the Hunter Biden laptop. Oh, and for complete disclosure, I believe that guy who at the computer store, because I know him. I used to know him. I bought a computer off of him, and he was a friend of mine. And, he had the old blind man working on computers. He ended up having to move somewhere out to Denver somewhere, in the middle of nowhere. So this is not nice people you're dealing with here. They're not nice people. Ukrainian people are nice. I know Ukrainian people, wonderful people. Leadership, not so much. Right? Then they go over to Russia and everything else, and it's all screwed up. Here and now, Trump gets in there. He wants an end to this. For one, life. I believe that Trump was all about the first administration. He wanted human life was more valuable than money. But he wants this war to end for that. And I happen to believe him on that. Maybe his methods are wrong, but I happen to agree with him. So he says, I got to be friends with everybody here to try to get everybody to the table and hammer out a deal. And this is what the news media fails to understand. And us in the Western Europe and the West, United States fails to understand. All right? When you're dealing with this culture in Poland, Ukraine, Czech Republic, Slovakia, all of these things, they're all basically, and Russia, and the Lithuania, which used to be part of Poland, Latvia, Estonia, the Baltic Republics, all of those areas there, different culture than the United States. We were with some German tourists on our vacation last week, and they said, you people in America are so open and so nice. You got to understand that over there, those people are not. It's a very closed border once you get into Europe and you get further east. People don't talk. People, right? I worked with a lot of Polish people involved in the Polish community. Guess what? Ukrainian community, there's some overflow here. These folks hold their cards very close. Number one. Number two, if they make changes, doesn't matter whether it's a political change, policy change, safety in the workplace, what have you, it's considered emasculine. It's considered a sign of weakness. And I think that's what's going on here with Zelensky, is that he doesn't want to seem weak. Unfortunately, though, when you start to act this way, But no, somebody has basically giving you a blank check. Sign on the dotted line. We're going to grab some resources here and everything. You got to make some deals, or we got to make it worth our while. If we have skin in the game over in your country, you're going to be more secure. You got to have it in your head, well, maybe I should keep my mouth shut, and maybe I got to take a little bit of abuse. That's not the culture over there. You're seeing classic Ukrainian, Polish, Eastern European culture. Believe me, whether you're dealing with the person on the street, or now we have a demonstration, leader of a country, it's the same thing. Now, let's put this into a little bit more context. You think he's been terrorized? You think people he loved died? And things no, he's at war. He's at war. You don't want to show weakness here. And a little bit of that went into this. Basically, had he kept his mouth shut, things would have worked out okay. But because he didn't do that, I believe his political career is hurt at a minimum, however you want to define hurt. But he may not be, that's it. I think that's it here. Just my read on the thing. Now, we're going to go into hour 2 here. We got 1 minute 48, and we're going to put in our outro. We're going to go into hour 2 for this program. And you Safety FM people, hour 2, we're going to talk a little bit about safety because something incredible happened while I was on vacation, and I did not realize it till today. And this gives you great encouragement for season 5 of Safety Wars.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Hour 2 coming up. Hopefully the Star Spangled Banner will be allowed by the streaming services. Hour 2 coming up.
Warning, the following broadcast contains adult language, adult content, frank safety discussions, and stories that might sound unbelievable. But believe me, every one of those stories is true. We didn't start the safety war, but we are going to fight to win it. For our families, for our communities, for our workplaces, and for our lives. Is your safety training old, stale, and hackneyed? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Oh yeah, Safety Wars, Hour 2. How's everybody doing? I'm going to go into a little bit more news here. And here we are. Now, the disclaimer on the first hour is always that we are not usually part of the story. But this time, we might be part of the story here. So, anyone who knows me privately knows that I am, one of the big things is abuse of children is a real big deal for me. Huge. Right? And in our country, always this has been the problem. There are communities of people who abuse children, pedophiles, FOphiles, which is people who children have reached puberty, or now it's an FOphile, what they do, and then pedophile is usually before puberty, where you have abusive and their normalization of this behavior. Back in the day, even 100 years ago, and you look at some of the stuff where women were getting married, or in some cases, boys were getting married. They were 9-year-old girls, 10-year-old girls. You see this because back then it was acceptable. You had high infant mortality, you had rampant poverty, and families were used to do this sort of thing. I'm not making a judgment, it is what it was. In the 1930s, laws started to get passed that prohibited that and put a minimum age of 16, unless there are other circumstances in a lot of places. But every state was different where they did this. And then it was interracial marriage, and then same-sex marriage in the culture wars in the 1990s and 2010s. There, all of that went on. And again, minor, now we get into this whole thing. Minor attracted men, or minor attracted women. Right, where they have, and there's all different types, and a lot of people are trying to normalize this. Can't tell me anything else. So you had another organization, I'm not going to mention it on the air, that was a big promoter of this. I remember growing up. So when I saw, and I complete disclosure here, I am on the witness list for some litigation in this area. All right, with this. But that's all I'm allowed to say. So for complete disclosure here, which is what I like to do here for you folks. About 2 years ago, I started reading when we turned this into a live broadcast, season 3, we started covering press releases. We're looking for things to talk about in the news, right? Because we all know with podcasting, most podcasts only last a couple of episodes, like anywhere from 12 to like 25 episodes. And what I tell people when they get involved in podcasting, I said, anybody out there could talk. The first 10 episodes is easy to find stuff to talk about. What do you do after the first 10 episodes? So we had to start looking at other stuff. And I said, well, I want to cover some of the news. And, me and Jay Allen had gone and we had talked, okay, what do you want to do? This sort of thing. I don't think I'm violating it, because, he is the owner of the station. He's not, and we're going to have to talk. Well, what are you looking at? What are you trying to do? So you help me along here. Okay. And what I eventually evolved into was taking the press releases from OSHA, from Department of Labor. And Biden administration was very prodigious in issuing press releases. And I know since Trump has curtailed a lot of them, very few press releases. And what was one of the themes running through the Department of Labor was child labor violations. You think it's like the 1800s here, early 1900s, where child labor, and and this and that stuff. And I'm like, what the hell? And I start reading this, and I start sharing it on the air, and I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like the only one doing it in our universe, in our safety universe, and in the Department of Labor universe. Why are all these And then it comes out in the Associated Press that there are 300 children on the low end that are unaccounted for. And there were a couple of documentaries on this where the children and this and that, because they're coming over the border, southern border primarily, coming in elsewhere, where, they're accompanied by an adult, but it's not a family member. And then all of a sudden, they think, where do they go? They don't show up to court. They lose track of where the hell are they. And now, what's the theory? The theory is that they are brought into this country to be they're brought into this country to be food for the pedophiles, because we do have a pedophile ring in this country. With my experience, and because of the case that I'm involved in, no doubt in my mind that there's a pedophile ring. The only question is, how extensive is it? With the former president, Biden, and the situation his son got into in Ukraine, where there is video of this, in a bathtub surrounded by what appeared to be underage women, I have to say maybe there's some truth to this. A friend of mine from church, my old church, her brother got picked up in Thailand with underage boys and girls. He was arrested and brought back to this country, and he has all different legal issues at the time. And he also confessed to the John Benet Ramsey murder, believe it or not. So you got a real winner here. So no doubt in my mind, what happens is, so the theory is, I don't know how true this is that they come in for pedophilia, then they come in for prostitution later on, and then they come slave labor, and then they become organ donors. They get them out of the country, they become organ donors. And apparently that's the pattern that we're hearing about, or they end up unaliving them. That's the word with that. What's the word nowadays? So my shock, no, I missed the Lori Chavez DeRaymer hearing, right, for the Senate, right there, and it wasn't well publicized, but I downloaded it and I start listening to it this week, and I'm like, holy Guvno. I'm shocked. What do you think half of the questions were, it seemed, that she was asked about? Is she going to, how will she handle all of these child labor issues? And will she react? I said, did they bring up the old Secretary of Labor, the other Secretary of Labor, and ask that person, what are you doing about this? No, but they brought her there and asked her about doing it. She's not even a thing. And it's like, I'm the only one talking about this. And this ends up in Congress. Could they have listened to this Safety Wars show? And I don't know. But you heard it here first. Is my point. If you've been following along for 2 years. So this one became part of the Congressional Record. You could go and check it out. We're going to be releasing some videos on this and highlights that I was working on today to get that done. I mean, this is scary stuff here. And as it was in the movie Moneyball, at the end, you hit a home run and you didn't even know it. Right? With the Kevin Costner character for the Oakland A's. You might have hit a home run here. Not Kevin Costner. Brad Pitt was in that. Kevin Costner was somewhere, but Brad Pitt, you hit a home run and you didn't know it. And that's basically what we might have done here. We might have gotten out some stuff, and that's not the first time. We've had a couple of other stories we cover. For example, September 27th or 28th, 2023, we talked about the Electoral College. Guess what? Next weekend, everyone's talking about the Electoral College and how to get on the ballot, like us. So basically, what am I saying here? We are the tip of the spear. When we're able to get out stories way ahead of time. The first major story we had was when this was in 2021, where we were talking about the Tennessee Department of Health, and we talked about this with Jay Allen on the Radio Safety Show, putting on the PDFs of the vaccination cards and people downloading them. It took the mainstream media 3 months to catch on to that story. We covered it here first on Safety Wars and Safety FM, the Rated R Safety Show. We had a local fire here, 2021, very controversial, nursing home burned down. We covered that program here. We covered the report here. That was our biggest show that we ever had, and people are still emailing me here when we went over the fire report for that. So that's what we're in to do. That's what I really wanted to share with you folks today. And why we went into hour 2 is that we are on the tip of the spear here with Safety Wars. Here with all of this stuff. Here, Jay Allen being our leader here on the Safety FM network. With the Rated R Safety Shows and the Jay Allen Show. And organizing this. And I wanted to thank him for since 2021, we're going 4 years here doing this, and we're going into our 5th season of Safety Wars. And we hope to expand. We're probably not going to be on every day or 3 to 5 times a week. We have some project work that came up. If you want to advertise with us, we're getting tens of thousands of views and downloads here. I know that's not as much as a lot of other programs, and this is a safety-related program. You want to advertise with us? You're going to get one hell of an advertisement here. Join us. So here we have, on the story we just talked about, this is from Huffington Post. Democrats save Trump's labor secretary nominee in committee. President Donald Trump's nominee to lead the Labor Department, Lori Chavez DeRemer, advanced out of a Senate committee on Thursday, thanks to Democrats lending their voices. By a vote of 14-9, Chavez DeRemer cleared the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions panel. The committee has 12 Republicans and 11 Democrats, meaning if any Republican votes yes, every Democrat votes no, a nominee will advance. Typically, senators in the party of the president vote to advance. But in Chavez DeRemer's case, Senator Rand Paul, complete disclosure, I worked with his father, bucked Trump and voted no. Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska missed the vote, but later requested that she be recorded as a yes. If every Democrat had voted no, Chavez DeRemer's nomination would have ended in committee by a vote of 11-12. But 3 Democrats voted to advance her nomination. There are Senators Maggie Hassan from New Hampshire, John Hickenlooper of Colorado, and Tim Kaine of Virginia. Their support for Chavez DeRemer and the fact that they just saved her nomination flies in the face of progressive groups that have been urging Democrats to oppose all of Trump's nominees and use every procedural tool to stop the president's reckless dismantling of federal government. That's according to them. All right. With that, going on, again, constituents, labor unions supported her in her state. And let's see how to vote. Do they have a vote scheduled here? Okay, hold on. Sean O'Brien, the Teamster leader who had Trump's ears, urged President to choose Chavez the Remmer for the labor post, but it has also created a hurdle for her with anti-union Republicans who vehemently oppose the PRO Act. Right, and there was a law called the PRO Act that she supported, and going on. Okay, but I don't know. We'll see how this goes down here with this. Now, I had a conversation with someone today on how to reform OSHA and some of the ideas I've been collecting. So when the other person, his name escapes me now, let me look at it, nominee for OSHA. Here you go. This is from 10 days ago. Teamsters back Trump's OSHA nominee, but dissent emerges. And it's David Keeling of senior leadership at DOL, OSHA and MSHA under a second Trump administration is taking shape. So we have Keith Sonderling, nominee for Deputy Secretary of Labor. He is a former EEOC commissioner. David Keeling is nominee for Assistant Secretary of Labor for OSHA. Again, he is a safety professional, which I believe is a really good thing. Amanda Wood-Lehal, nominee for Deputy Assistant Secretary under OSHA. And this would be the legal and policy expert, it looks like. With that, she is formerly of the Occupational Safety and Health Review Commissioner. And Wayne Palmer, nominee for MSHA Administrator. He appears to be somebody who's not only a regulatory veteran and has leadership experience at MSHA, but also worked in the mining industry. So let's see how this goes. Should be taking shape, I would think, by the next in the next month here with this. So we had an org chart working out here. So we'll see what happens. That's all with this. And But let me run one more time. Let's see if we have anything in the news. It's just we're living in interesting times here. But after his meeting with Trump, Zelensky reportedly got escorted out of the White House. Other things going on this weekend here, right? Pope health worsens in the hospital. Let's keep him in our thoughts and prayers. A lot of Catholics are very with that. The UK and overseas papers are already coming out. Here we have Zelensky kicked out of White House after Trump showdown as peace talks collapse. Right? President Donald Trump abruptly halted peace talks between Russia and Ukraine and kicked President Zelensky out of the White House after a blistering overall for the shouting match between the two leaders. I don't know if that's recorded. Reportedly, things happen off record also. Trump wrote, Zelensky apologized to Trump, and Trump wrote, "It's amazing what comes out through emotion, and I have determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved." And I don't know. You had Trump laying hands on Zelensky, too, in one of the photos. And ay. What a mess. Again, but we know how things turn out on the other hand, so we're only playing Monday morning quarterback here. That's all I got for this program. I hope to see everybody tomorrow. I'll be releasing some highlights of some of this stuff, and we'll go from there. So I will catch you folks later on then. For Safety Wars, this is Jim Polzel. We will see you tomorrow, hopefully, or some other time over the weekend. We'll put on some music after this.
Hard hat on my head, set the alarm. High voltage love in your arms. Steel toe boots, steal my heart. Now love's a machine, start to start. Danger signs, but we don't mind. We're safety certified, hearts aligned. Locked out, tagged out, hearts entwined. You and me were one of a kind. Fire extinguisher, spark of desire. Emergency exits, this love's on fire. Hard hat area, yeah, we comply. Our love's as strong as reinforced supply. Our love's like gears, it turns so true. Turbines of passion spinning with you. Mechanical love, it's built to last. Safety first, romance moving fast. Danger signs, but we don't mind. We're safety certified, hearts aligned. Locked out, tagged out, hearts entwined. You and me were one of a kind. Worksite romance, it's OSHA approved. Love that's steady, never misused. Red tape barriers can't keep us apart. Love evolves, safety from the start. Danger signs, but we don't mind. We're safety certified, hearts aligned. Locked out, tagged out, hearts entwined. You and me were one of a kind. Worksite romance, it's OSHA approved. Love that's steady, never misused. Red tape barriers can't keep us apart. Love evolves, safety from the start. Worksite romance, it's OSHA approved. Love that's steady, never misused. Red tape barriers can't keep us apart. Love evolves, safety from the start. To be tough, you gotta lose some sleep.
Sorry about that. Hold on.
When you ride the wild wind with no map in your hand, you better be ready to crash land. There's no mercy for the foolish hearts, but we don't break, we tear apart. Stumbling through life like a blindfolded clown. If you trip, you better not stay down. Laugh at the scars you carved so deep. To be tough, you gotta lose some sleep. If you're gonna be stupid, you better be strong. Learn to dance when things go wrong. Every wrong step is a left hook deal. If you're gonna be stupid, you better be made of steel. Bruises and bad calls make you wise. Struggle emboldens those heavy sighs. Jump off the cliffs, embrace the fall. Only the bold survive it all. Grin through the pain and wear it proud. Sing your regrets clear and loud. Mistakes teach more than safety nets. It's the heat that forges the best. If you're gonna be stupid, you better be strong. Learn to dance when things go wrong. Every wrong step is a left hook deal. If you're gonna be stupid, you better be made of steel. Exodus recorded by the score. Oceans knocking open the door. Logs and summaries neatly in place. In the end, it will save you face. Workplace safety is the race. Gotta keep a steady pace. Report it right, don't delay. It's your right, Ocean's Way. Workers' lives matter every day. Let's keep the hazards at bay. Injury log from January to December. Numbers you won't want to remember. File it, I'll handle with care. Do it right, be aware. Keeping track makes us strong. Prevents what could go wrong. OSHA speaks, we sing along. Join the safety song. Post the laws from February to May every year. Safety first, keep it clear. Workers' rights loud and clear. Sound the alarm, spread the cheer. Logs and summaries neatly in place. In the end, it will save you face. Workplace safety is a race. Gotta keep a steady pace. Report it right, don't
Come and listen to a story about a man named Jim. Safety's his game and the odds were looking grim. Workplace hazards everywhere, from ladders to machines. He took on the mission to make those places clean.
Safety, that is. PPE. OSHA rules.
Well, next thing you know, old Jim's in high demand, teaching folks safety from the mines to the land. Said we gotta keep them safe, make sure they know the score, about hazards and the dangers that they just can't ignore.
Training, that is. Inspections. Safety plans.
So now they call him up. Safety Wars is here to stay. Fighting the good fight, keeping dangers at bay. Tune in and learn with Jim. He's got the safety know-how. 'Cause Safety Wars is on and we're starting right now.
Safety Wars, that is. Set a spell. Take your time. Stay safe now, you hear?
So now they call him up. Safety Wars is here to stay. Fighting the good fight, keeping dangers at bay. Tune in and learn with Jim. He's got the safety know-how. 'Cause Safety Wars is on and we're starting right now.
Safety Wars, that is. Set a spell. Take your time. Stay safe now, you're here.
Well, next thing you know, old Jim's in high demand, teaching folks safety from the mines to the land. Said we gotta keep them safe, make sure they know the score, about hazards and the dangers that they just can't ignore. Training, that is. Inspections, safety plans. So now they call him up. Safety Wars is here to stay. Fighting the good fight, keeping dangers at bay. Tune in and learn with Jim. He's got the safety know-how. The Safety Wars is on, and we're starting right now.
Safety Wars, that is. Set a spell. Take your time. Stay safe now, you hear? Stay safe now.
Checking your pulse every morning light. Your heartbeat sets the rhythm right. With each step we take, we're in compliance. Dancing through life with love's reliance. Safety first, love we cherish this way. Guidelines we follow, come what may. With you by my side, I feel secure. In this love, our hearts find the cure. Your smile is my protective gear. Together we conquer every fear. Hand in hand we set the pace. Life's a safe haven in your embrace. Safety first, love we cherish this way. Guidelines we follow, come what may. With you by my side, I feel secure. In this love, our hearts find the cure. Your smile is my protective gear. Together we conquer every fear. Hand in hand we set the pace. Life's a safe haven in your embrace. We build our love on solid ground. In every rule our strength is found. No hazards can break what we've begun. In this safety dance we move as one. safety dance. With every measure our love grows strong. In this life you and I belong.
You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and one consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete Signal Transmission Trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.